What's up, guys? I've been planning this video for a long time. I actually bought the stuff for it about a year ago, but every time I try to install it, the conditions aren't exactly perfect. It's got to be warm, decent out, and my machine's got to be clean. And for the longest time, I didn't have any of those three at the same time. So today is finally the day. So when I'm driving my YXZ, I find that my knees hit the door and the transmission tunnel, and after a long day of riding they get sore. And I was like, oh, they gotta have something, you know, from the factory that I can slap on there and it just add a little more comfort. But the Yamaha door pad kit is about $180, and even the off-brand ones are like $70. And all they are is tiny little pads. I'll throw a picture of them up right here. But man, they're expensive for a little bit of nothing, honestly. So I found a different material that actually will work better. It's a lot cheaper. I've seen it done on a couple different side-by-sides. I'm by no means the creator of this. Actually, my buddy even just put some on his, and we hadn't even talked about it. And I guess it's just kind of going around right now. But it is marine foam. This is made for the decks of boats. It's squishy, and it's got different patterns you can get. I picked blue to match the side-by-side. This isn't YXZ specific. This can be for any side-by-side. I am gonna have to cut it myself, but you get so much material. I mean, I got a ton of it for, I think I paid between $70 and $100. I can't remember which size I got, but you can get smaller pieces for really cheap. But yeah, I think this stuff looks really cool. I'm actually kind of bummed though, because I got this like honeycomb design, but now they've come out with a little bit cooler designs, but this is what I got. So let's install it. I did wash the YXZ, but there's still a bunch of dirt on it. It's so hard to get these things clean. So I'm gonna put the padding on this door, the driver's door as well, and then on the transmission tunnel, and maybe if I have time I'll put it on the roof too, for a little bit of sound deadening and for when my head hits the roof in my helmet, won't scratch it up. All right, so I'll start cleaning this up. Okay, so I'm just using some isopropyl alcohol that I had laying around in the barn and a clean microfiber towel. I'm hoping this sticks pretty well, but I use SC1 all the time and I'm really not confident that it's gonna stick for a long time, but that stuff's pretty sticky, so I'm hoping it does a good job. I wasn't really sure how to get a good pattern for the door because this is kind of a odd shaped door. So what I ended up doing is getting a piece of, this is just cardboard for paint, and I made like a template, and I'm gonna kind of lay it out on the foam and see kind of where the lines fall, and that'll decide, you know, where I cut. All I did was mark the edges from the back with a marker and cut it out and fit it up roughly. The doors should be about the same except for the gas tank or the filler cap hole that's in the passenger door. So I think I can use this same template for both doors. I also did the same thing for this transmission tunnel pad. I kind of got it fit pretty close to where I want it. Mainly I'm just trying to protect the knees in here because I'm a man spreader, and after a long day beating your leg against this hard plastic, it hurts. So you can see I laid this piece out. It looks like 8 to 10 feet, probably 8 feet, because the YXZ is just over 10. But yeah, so that's what it looks like. All right, with this particular pattern that I'm using, it's gonna be really difficult to cut these edges and make it look nice. So I think I have a plan to make it look okay. You just have to trust me on this one. I don't even trust me. So I'm gonna just trace the edges here. Roughly, no accuracy needed. So what I'm gonna try to do is all these ones that are cut into, I'm gonna scrap those and only go on this outside line to kind of keep this blue line as the outside. It's kind of hard to explain. I'm just gonna start cutting it. All right, I got the panel cut out. I've got to be completely honest, I don't like it. So I tried to save it so I only had the blue around. For some reason in my head I thought it would look really cool, and I just don't like that. There's so much of the door that's missing, and I don't know, it just is pretty ugly.
This is a big old frozen chunk of poopy.
So I think what I'm gonna try to do now, since that didn't work, is maybe just lay it on here and try to come in with a razor and cut out all these shapes, which seems kind of difficult. But this has so many different curves and everything, it's really difficult to come up with a good pattern that's gonna match up real good. So I think that's the only way I'm gonna be able to do it. All right, I wasn't able to take as much video as I had hoped, but sticking this full pad on there was kind of a pain. I just roughly scissor cut all this at the end. That's why it looks really choppy and nasty right now. I got the main shape of the door. Now I'm gonna kind of clean up all the edges and cut the door handle. All right, so it's coming along. I wish my edges were a little bit better. I might clean them up with something later. I'm not using the best pair of scissors, and scissors probably aren't even the right tool for the job. But what I'm finding that I'm having to do is cut against the line here and then pull it up a little bit and offset it maybe ½ an inch and pull it in. That way there's no edges sticking out to grab dirt and start peeling. I'm trying to round the corners kind of nice. But yeah, originally I just rough cut it like this, and now I'm going back and giving it a little bit better cut. Still not the best. From a distance, it looks pretty good. I'm gonna keep cutting on it. This might be a couple day project actually. I thought I'd finish it all tonight, but it ended up being a little more time consuming than I had hoped. Another issue is that the YXZ doors want to constantly close on you, so that makes it even more fun. So I'm just following the line of this fuel area here, trying to get as accurate as possible. World's best scissors. Thanks, Harbor Freight. I'm about to go steal my wife's kitchen scissors. I'd be in trouble. Might be worth it though. All right, I got the passenger door all covered and cut out for the most part. It looks really sweet if this is all the closer you get. So the scissors I was using are not real sharp, so the edges are kind of terrible. I'm still gonna try to find something to clean them up a little better. But yeah, this is what it looks like. I think function over form in this case. It doesn't look too bad. It just not as clean as I would have liked it, but it sure looks a lot better than whatever this is, so I'm happy enough with it. Like I said, I am going to still clean it up, but it is getting dark out, so I'm gonna quit for the night, get stuff cleaned up, be back out here tomorrow to hopefully do the rest. I don't know, it's supposed to rain. I do have a barn right there, but I wanted some warm weather so this stuff sticks on there real good. I think if I leave it out in the sun, I mean, it's pretty sticky. I don't think it's going anywhere. I would just like it to kind of cook on there a little bit. All right, guys, it's the next day and I'm back at putting this foam on the doors. Before I started the video here, I cut some scrap pieces to fit up pretty good. So I just had this left over from the door panel. So I cut it to fit right there as a knee pad for that side, and then I just kind of mirrored it over to fit the driver's side. So I'm gonna install those now. I wanted to follow kind of the lines here on the plastic and go around this hump. So I'll get that installed. I took my center console lid off. I'm gonna put some pads on here because this is where your elbow goes. And also my harnesses kind of scratch this up really bad. So I'd like to cover that just so it looks a little better. So I'm gonna clean it up. All I did was use this cardboard paper to make a template and then transfer that to the padding. All right, so I think I'm gonna put this one on first. This might be a little difficult to get centered. I'm folded it in half. That way I can get it lined up about how I want it before I set it down. And I want to set down the middle first because there's a ditch down there. There we go. All right, now this one I cut for right about there. I'm gonna do the same thing. Peel this up halfway. Get it placed about where I want it. So, about right there. I'll throw the center console lid back on. These are always fun to get in. There we go. Ow, that was my head. That looks pretty cool. All right, I got to do the other side door and then maybe some other little pieces around. I'm not sure. Now that I got it rough cut in, I'm gonna try and clean up some of this choppiness around here. I got the door panels trimmed up about as good as I'm gonna get them. They're not perfect, but they look really good actually. I took a lot of edge pieces off, just tried to sharpen the edges a little bit. They fit up pretty good. That's about how much I took off on the driver's side. And then this is what I took off on the passenger side. Just trying to get these edges to look a little sharper, cleaner. I just was messing around. I threw some pieces up here. I don't love that, but these knee pads look really good. And then just some center console accents here. I thought maybe that'd be good for, you know, putting your elbow on, or these these harnesses scratch up my lid there, so at least they'll protect a little bit against that. This stuff's sticking on there pretty well. There is a couple spots like inside here, not on the edges, that could stick a little bit better. So I'm going to use the heat gun, just heat it up, kind of stick it to it, and then I'll leave it out in the sun for a little bit. Oh yeah, that's sticking a lot better. I really like the look of it. It came out looking pretty clean. I could have done a better job probably, but I really like how it looks, and it actually feels pretty comfortable. It hits right on where your knees go. It's not all that thick of padding, but it's way better than just rest your knee on the plastic. It'll take me probably a long ride to figure out how much help it actually did, but I think it was worth it. These are definitely better than the expensive Yamaha pads you can buy. I'm gonna take it out for just a quick rip and see if I can notice any difference. I doubt it, but we'll see. I didn't go too far, but it was really comfortable. It's definitely better than just having your leg ride on that plastic, especially with shorts on. It really made a big difference. You definitely could use more padding, but for me it's kind of a give and take, because I wanted a thin amount of padding because I like to have my legs open wide, and that's why it was a big deal for me to get pads, because I wanted something thin but a little bit of padded, so at the end of the day my knees aren't super sore. And I think this is gonna work good, and I think it looks good. Not too bad. I do wish I had a little bit more material left over to do the roof, but I screwed up a piece, so I don't have a ton left over. But I may do that in the future. I just probably won't put it on a video. I was gonna flash up like a before and after picture, but since I have 2 YXZs and I only have the padding done to one of them, I can just show you in real time. So here's what the original YXZ interior looks like. Just black. See, this is how scuffed up this thing gets just from these harnesses scraping on them. Yeah, so you can get a pretty good idea of what it did look like. Here's what it looks like with the padding. Yeah, I'd say it looks a lot better and a lot more comfortable. So the pads are definitely gonna help with comfort, but I still think, as far as comfort, the biggest mod that I've done is those Rhino headrests. It's a previous video that I put out, but I took these stock armrest shield things. I took those out and used a Yamaha Rhino headrest to make a pad there to cover the latch. Boy, that made a huge difference in comfort. You got plenty of room. Now I can put my arm on this door edge here. That just made a huge difference in comfort. But I'll link that video here if you want to see it, but I think it flows along really good with the interior now. If this video helped you, or if you want to see other side-by-side modifications, any off-road content, we have sport quads, snowmobiles, a lot of different off-road stuff. So yeah, check out some of our other videos, and if you like what you see, consider subscribing to the channel. Also, we just hit over 3,000 subscribers, so I wanted to thank everyone who's subscribed so far. It doesn't sound like a lot, but we've been working really hard to get to 3,000 subs, so thank you everyone for subscribing. And yeah, just gonna keep the content coming. So all right, Thanks for watching. Have a great day.